We're very excited. Tony has been working very hard on putting this event together. As some of y'all may know, he's written a book, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that book tonight. It's been kind of secret, but he has some real exciting news for us and some great things to teach. Tony and Meg, I met him about maybe a year and a half ago, my husband and I did, and they've been tremendous role models, supports, friends to us. And I just tell everybody, if you can get to know Tony Sama, get to know him, because he's just an awesome friend to have. So we are very excited to see what he has to teach us tonight. So just, if you have paper and pencil, you might want to get it out, okay? So we welcome Tony Sama.
Thank you, Mimi. Well, you know, I wrote this book for a lot of reasons, and the book's name is The 5 Quests. But a lot of you don't know me, so I'd like to start right from the beginning, because it's in the book. You know, I was born in 1955, I just gave you my age, in a little town called Perth Amboy, New Jersey. It's about 30 miles out of New York City. And I went to school, I grew up, you know, I was young, and I could vaguely remember certain things of, you know, that time. You know, as you look back when you're 3, 4, 5 years old, you don't really remember too many things, but certain things stand out. What stood out at that time was that I lived, at the time, from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. We moved to a little town called Fords, and we lived on this hill. And I remembered as a young kid just sleigh riding down the hill, you know, because we lived on this hill that you could sleigh ride on, you know, and it was a wonderful time. But then all of a sudden, I had just started to go to school, and you know, with first grade kindergarten, I remember jumping out and running home every day because I didn't want to be there. And I was one of those kind of kids, you know. I'm still like that, you know. I'm part Italian, and I'm half Hungarian. So what we tell people is, I don't know if I want to make love or I want to leave, because Hungarians are like gypsies, and that blood is in me. But the bottom line is that all of a sudden, you know, I was in 3rd grade at the time, my father decided to take me to Florida and my mother, and we moved here. And there was just one word for it. You know, coming out of New Jersey, it's cold up there. You know, I'm young. I'm just getting ready to, you know, in school. At that time, I was in 3rd grade and going into 4th grade. And he moved me to this island in South Florida called Palm Beach. Culture shock. People in Palm Beach are a little bit different, but that's okay. That's just the way it is. My father, he moved me into this house. It had 13 bedrooms. It was my father's boss's home that he said, you could buy this house for $50,000. He should have. It was on Barton Avenue in Palm Beach. And all I can remember at that time was getting lost in the house and crying because it's too big. I wasn't used to it. So my mother and father, you know, they sent me to this school, and it was culture shock at that time. You know, you wake up, and it's just a different world. But I didn't realize it at the time. We had moved then from Palm Beach to Lake Worth in College Park in Florida, of course. And we lived a little bit off the Intercoastal Waterway, so at that time you could go fishing. You know, I had the golf course down there that I used to spend time at. I used to spend time at this little place down there that now is the Ritz-Carlton in Lantana. They used to call it the Laco Key Club. Well, it had a saltwater pool, and I could take all my friends. It had a grill outside. It had the ocean right there, and I could buy him hamburgers. At 13 years old, my father bought a boat. He thought it was his. At 13, 14 years old, I had a boat. I was playing golf. Okay, spoiled, right? Spoiled. But it was freedom. I experienced freedom at a very young age. And to have that gift given to me, because that's kind of the way life was back here in Florida at the time. In fact, there's someone here, we were discussing this today. That's a client of mine, and because I'm an accountant, just in case you didn't know. And he had come in, and we were talking about, you know, Florida the way it was, which is okay. There's a lot of areas of the country the way it was. You know, it was just different then. And people had more freedoms. Today, you have to go out and basically find those freedoms in different ways, and there is a way. That's why we're here. The name of the seminar is There's a better way. And seeing is believing. And one of the things that happened, and people ask me, well, what made you write a book? Well, Meg fell down. She hurt her knee. We couldn't go out at night, and I had nothing better to do. And I was sick and tired trying to explain to people for the last 2 years what I believe in and trying to train them. I found myself repetitively going over and over and over again the same things. I said, I just need to put it in a book. Then I can relax, and people can read the book. So now I just go, stop. Okay, I know what's wrong. Read this, then we'll talk. And that's what I do now, because if you try to coach somebody into believing what you believe in, it's very hard. But if you give it to them in a book format and they go home and they find out that they can read it in their leisure, one of the things that came back to me so far just in this book that we wrote is that people didn't tell me they were reading it. They told me they were studying it. I said, I didn't mean for you to go back to school, but people are studying the lessons that are in this book that are very simple. It's a simple reading book. And the book is called The 5 Quests. And it's very simple. There are 5 quests in life that everybody is searching for. In fact, these 5 quests I believed in before I read the New Year's top 3 resolutions of 2008. Number 1 was health. Number 2 was success. Number 3 was wealth, or vice versa. And when I read and heard it, it was on a TV show, that those were the top 3, I said, ironically, this is my book. This is my belief. Those are the top 3 things that people look for. And then, of course, we had to add tax in there, because if you don't pay your taxes, you can't have good health, wealth, and success, because they're going to destroy you. The Internal Revenue Service doesn't like when you owe taxes. And the 5th one is traveling. One of the reasons I put that in there is because I found the common denominator with everyone, almost everyone except for one person in here tonight, okay, who I spoke to, but he was just kidding, of course, likes to travel, vacation, and have fun. And travel, vacationing, and having fun is a common denominator with everyone. How many people in here would not like to travel, vacation, and have fun? There's the one. Actually, we have 2 now, by the way. But now they know it's you. Okay, so what does it take in order to travel, vacation, and have fun? It takes time, money, and health. And health is probably the biggest of all. If you don't have health, it doesn't matter about time and money, because you're not going to go ahead and enjoy it anyway, and you're not going to be able to travel, vacation, and have fun. So that was my first quest, was Health Quest. The second quest was Wealth Quest. The third is Success Quest. The 4th is Tax Quest. And the 5th is Travel Quest. So what we do is we just have to learn certain things about those 5 quests and learn to basically put them into our life and take them one at a time. But there was a good friend of mine that really opened my eyes many years ago. His name was Larry Levine. And I'll never forget it as long as I live, because he's kind of like a person that enjoys philosophy. He enjoys spirituality. And one of the things he told me many years ago was that our life is like our own movie that is just basically playing itself out right in front of our eyes. And you are the producer of that movie. You are the director of your own movie. And you also are responsible and can change any of the scenes and any of the actors in your movie at any time that you wish. Now think about that. We all perceive life in a different way, in a different perception. It's our own movie. So in the book, what I do is I explain certain things based on my movie or my scenes and things that made a difference in my life. And if you play back your movie from now backwards, I'm sure there's a lot of scenes in your life you would like to change and you would like to have different actors, or maybe you would have wrote the script a little bit differently. But you have the choice today, and that's a big part of what we are trying to tell you here in this book, is that you can change that scene or the scenes from this day forward. You can change the actors. You can rewrite the scripts. You can hire different producers and directors and get rid of those other actors in your life, in your movie, that aren't doing things that you agree with. It's very simple when you think about it. Now, how do you do that? Well, let's go to the next one right here. It's your blockbuster movie, not mine. You can go ahead. You're the producer. You're the director. You change the actors. Just exactly what I saw. It's your life. It's your health. And it's your choice. You have a choice in this. It's you. That's what the book is based on. Next, there's a dear friend of mine that has constantly asked me this question. He's in this room tonight. And I had to put this in the book, because it's a big part of it. Can you answer this question honestly? Is what you're doing today going to get you where you want to be tomorrow? It's a big question. Answer it honestly. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell anybody that you really don't want to tell, but it's your answer. And if you say, yes, I'm where I want to be, maybe you're right. Maybe, just maybe, notice I said maybe, because you haven't listened or learned about the 5 quests yet. All I'm asking you is to open your mind when I show you the 5 quests, and I just kind of crack open a little bit what I think everyone in this room really needs. In fact, everybody in this world actually needs, is to crack open just that little bit and answer that question at the end. Is what I'm doing today going to get me where I want to be tomorrow? And how am I going to get there? There's an evolution that goes on, by the way. For example, in the book, I explain it as a pack of ants. A pack of ants just kind of follows the other ant right behind the other ant, and they just follow each other around. They go ahead, and basically they're programmed. There's kind of something in the universe that God created that said, ants, you are going to do things a certain way. But, on the other hand, we're going to allow some of the ants not to do what all the other ants are doing. So if the lead ant goes ahead and he's going along, and all of a sudden he walks into a fire, what do the other ants do? Most of them follow him right into the fire, right? Sounds like people today with the mortgage business, for example. Everybody just kind of walked right in and followed all the other ants. They were led by all the lead ants. But some people didn't do that. Why? They were different. Their thought process was different. What I'm saying is those ants now are going to survive. Those ants are going to teach. They're going to have this, if you believe in Darwin's theory of evolution, or whether you do or don't, that's okay. But those ants now have evolved. They are different. They have a different makeup. And they are now producing stronger ants that are more resilient to fire. People are like this, by the way. People will follow other people. And we're going to get into the reasons why in a minute. Now, okay. There are 4 ways to produce income. The first is you have a job. And I want you to understand that in this scenario, this is the 4 cash flow quadrants. If you have a job, which most people do, you have to trade time for money, don't you? Next, self-employed. You own a job. What are you doing? Again, you're trading time for money. Now, as an accountant, I understand this. I work every day. I go ahead, and in order to produce enough income during the year, I have to trade a lot of time. Accountants, attorneys, doctors, unless they find a different way to do things, are backing themselves in a corner where they can only earn so much money per year. There is a ceiling to it because you're trading time for money. The next is the quadrant on the right side is a business owner. This is where you own a system. You own a system, and people will help you earn money. It's the system that makes you money, not your trading time for dollars. In other words, to give you an example of what a business owner's mentality would be, is Bill Gates. He hired 500 people, basically, that said, I have an idea. He started with the first 100. He said, I want you as my team members. He got people that were really smarter than he was to work for him on his team. And he built that business with a system that these people basically made him the money because of their talents, because they were smarter. Michael Dell, Steve Jobs, Apple Computers. I could go on and on. These are people, you either the business owns you or you own the business. Next is an investor. An investor basically owns investments, and what does he do? He takes money and he makes money by trading money for money, investing. So the mentality of these four groups are, employees are simple. Employees basically say, how much do I earn and what are my entitlements? Entitlements are benefits and so on and so forth. A self-employed individual just kind of turns around and says, I don't need anybody, I can do it all myself. Those mentalities, by the way, go ahead and hit it, they share only 5% of the wealth of the world. The business owner's mentality is very simple. I'm looking for 500 team members. How can I go out and find 500 team members that are going to basically not work for me, but have as much drive and as much belief in the business that I'm in, and people create the money because now you own a system that is deriving income to you. The investor, he already made the money. He's investing money on money. These two quadrants now share the other 95% of the wealth of the world. Now, what's really ironic when you put all this together is that 95% of the population is on that left side of the quadrant. 5% are only on the right side. Now, think about what we just said here, okay? It took a while for me to really grasp this, but you have 95% of the population that only controls 5% of the wealth that you talk to every day of your life that is telling you how to run your life. Think about it for a minute. That means more than 9 out of 10 people are giving you misinformation, and you shouldn't listen to it. Find the people that are on the right side of the quadrant that are only 5% or less than 1 out of 10 people to listen to guide you, to mentor you, to go ahead and tell you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. It's the difference of wealth and basically being poor is a mentality or a thought process. Now, the 95% of the ants walked into the fire. What did the other 5% do? And I'm just using that as the analogy, is that the other 5% said, no, there's something wrong here. So why, for example, it was on the other clip, why do we put money in savings accounts or checking accounts when basically we know darn well that the banks make money on our money? Why do people pay their mortgages on the first day of the month when it doesn't matter if you pay it on the 1st or the 15th in a mortgage, you are going to be charged the interest no matter what through the 30th of the month, whether you pay it on the 1st or 15th. You actually, when you start to calculate the amount of money that you lose doing stuff like that, it's enormous over a period of time. And people do it. And there's a reason why people do it, and that's because of media and advertising. It's because of the banks and institutions that tell people that this is the right way to do things. It's not the right way. It's their right way. That's why they have a bank on every corner and a Walgreens, for example, because there's money in money, and there's money, of course, in Walgreens because they supply drugs to the world, which is another thing that you're going to see in a little while that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We're going to play a movie right now, because we missed that one clip there. But the movie is going to kind of tell you simply how media has an effect on our thought process. Go ahead and let's take a look at that movie.
Oh, I just can't get these numbers to add up.
It's like we're never going to get out of this hole.
Credit card debt doesn't ever end.
Perhaps I can help.
We sure could use it.
We've tried debt consolidation companies.
We've even taken out loans to make our payments.
Well, you're not the only ones. Did you know that millions of Americans live with debt they cannot control? That's why I developed a new debt management technique. It's called Don't Buy Stuff You Cannot Afford.
Let me see that. If you don't have any money, you should not buy anything. Sounds interesting.
Sounds confusing.
I don't know, honey. This makes a lot of sense. There's a whole section here on how to buy expensive things using money you've saved.
Let me see that. And where would you go about getting this saved money?
I tell you where and how in Chapter 3.
Okay, what if I want something? Can I buy it if I don't have the money?
No.
Okay, well, let's say I don't have the money. Should I go ahead and buy it anyway?
No.
Now I'm really confused.
It is a little confusing at first.
Okay, what if you have the money? Can you buy something?
Yes.
Okay, take the money away. Same story?
No.
Okay, I think I've got it. So, let's say I go ahead and buy something and hope I have the money to pay for it later.
No. First, you make sure you have the money. Then you buy stuff.
Then you buy it. But shouldn't I buy it before I have the money?
No.
Why not?
It's in the book. It's only 1 page long. The advice is priceless, but the book is free.
Wow, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, we can put that on our credit card.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can get out of debt now. Call for your free copy of Don't Buy Stuff You Cannot Afford. If you order right now, you'll also receive, seriously, stop buying stuff if you don't have the money. As a special one-time offer, we will give you free subscription to the members-only websites I Need to Stop Buying Things I Cannot Afford.com and I Can't Tell My Kids No.com.
Hey, Dad, look, the new iPod came out. Can I get one?
Well, son, do you have the money to pay for it?
No.
Well, sure.
Sweet.
Call today. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Home Equity, 90-day same as cash, not accepted. Thank you.
Okay, isn't that great? I'm telling you, on YouTube, just to give you an example, that got, in about 45 days, 4,000 hits. That video has more little quirks and notes and things about, you should see how people go back and forth, and it really wakes you up. Because what are we doing? Does that remind you of, your life and what we do? And why do we do it? It's simple. Just watch TV, for example. Okay? No payments till 2010. You can buy all the furniture you want at Rooms to Go. But at 2010, when you don't pay for that $5,000 in furniture, don't worry about it, because you're going to owe us 10. I mean, it's crazy. Have you ever sat down to calculate a credit card on how much when you pay that credit card, unless you have very low interest or zero interest, but they'll get you eventually, don't worry. It's all geared to basically for you to slip up, and we're human, and guess what we do? We slip up. They're going to get you. Credit cards, 80% normally are going to interest. And then I love the people that say, hey, I have a 6% mortgage. Really? Let me ask you a question. When you make your payment, you're paying that mortgage today on a $200,000 loan, your payment is $1,199. How much of that payment goes to your principal and how much to your interest? I know the number. $199 goes to principal, the other $1,000 goes to interest, and $1 a month comes off the other way. Okay? Now, tell me again, this year, how much interest are you paying? Because you're going to refinance anyway in 4 years. Well, why am I going to do that? Because the banks tell you to do it. Why do you think the banks tell you to do it? Because they start you all over again, right? Every 4 years, oh, get a lower interest rate. Oh, I have 6%. No, you don't. You got 90%, right? Think about it. It's stupid. It's crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's a way that we show you, in the book, and you're going to see this, of how you can pay your mortgage off in 12 years or less by a simple thing. Don't refinance. Through a process called snowballing, okay? In the book, there's a real live example of how we showed somebody to do this. So anyway, we'll go to the next one. And what is freedom for life? Have you ever thought about that? Do you own your life? What does it mean to own your life? Is what you're doing today going to get you where you want to be tomorrow? Okay, what does it mean to you to really own your life? Okay, for me, freedom for life is simple. Remember when I told you I was a kid, I played golf every day. I had my father's boat. He paid for all the gas. That's nice when father pays for all the gas. Okay, played golf, went to the beach, went boating, went scuba diving, fished, skied. You know what? My life was free until I turned 18 years old. Then all of a sudden he says, okay, your turn. Figure out how I did that. Thanks, Dad. Okay? He did. He just said, you're on your own. What happened to my endowment? It didn't work anymore. Now I had to figure out how he did it. And that has been my whole life, to figure out, well, what did he do? How did he afford these things? And you know what? Life has changed a lot. Our economies have changed. Things are different today. I feel sorry for our kids in a lot of ways. That's why I want every student in college to read this book, because it's about balancing and how you can balance and shut out that advertising, that media, so that it doesn't get into your ears, so you don't listen to those 95%ers that are telling you what to do with your money every day. Of course they're going to tell you what to do with your money and how to spend it and how to refinance your home and where to keep it. Just think, Wall Street did a wonderful thing for homeowners, didn't they? No. That was really unbelievable what they did. I don't even want to go into that. But there's 3 principles that I have lived by really for the past 30 years. I have really been trying to figure this out. And it took a little bit of time, because you really have to be striving for 3 types of incomes. One is income for life, income today. What is that? That's your job, right? You either own your job or your job owns you. That's the employment or self-employed. You have to create something that has a stream of income tomorrow. What are you doing today that's going to change your outcome of where you're going to be tomorrow? Well, do something. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of people here with a lot of businesses that are, I'm sure you have a daytime source of income today, that are trying to figure out how to get that income stream going with that income tomorrow. And there are ways to do it. But one of the things I've got to tell you is pick one of them, stay focused, and don't look back. Just keep motoring forward and don't quit. That's the secret. Part of the secret. I'm going to give you the rest of the secret in a little while, because that little guy on the bike has the secret, but I didn't tell you that yet. But then there's income for life. Income for life is generated in 2 ways. You either have a father like mine that said, okay, I'll give you money for the rest of your life, which he didn't, so that didn't work. Or you can create basically some money in a bank account that pays you interest, you become an investor, and you have enough sources of income coming in on a steady basis where you can travel, vacation, and have fun. I mean, see how all this is starting to just kind of fold right in? It's starting to get right where you want to be. Okay, travel, vacation, and have fun. That sounds like fun. I need time, money, and health. How do I do that? Watch. I have the answer. But you have to work at it. It's not just going to happen in your life. Okay? Think of them as crawling, walking, and running. Because that's what it is. You have to have income today in order to generate income tomorrow. How many of you have been in a job and you're working on something else and it's just starting to go and you lose your job? Right? You can't focus on that income tomorrow anymore, that secondary business or whatever you're trying to do. So once you have your income today and your income tomorrow basically structured, income for life becomes the next step of the whole program. You have both income today and income tomorrow settled, and your income for life will fall into place because now you're making enough money where you can save it, you can put it away, you can start investing. Now you move from the B quadrant that we showed you to the I quadrant investor, and now you're all the way on the right side of the basically the 5%er group. Now you can start talking to people in an intelligent fashion because you've accomplished something that takes a lot of determination, perseverance, and so on and so forth, but you made it because you thought differently. See, one of the things I learned is that thoughts basically are the key to change. You can't change someone to do something else without changing their thoughts first, because their thoughts lead to their intentions. Their intentions lead to their actions, and then their actions lead to their results. It's very, very interesting how that works. So you have to change your thought process, because what you're doing today won't get you where you're going tomorrow. The next, I'm going to let you go ahead and I'm going to teach you basically the secret of success tonight. And notice I said teach you, because I can't tell you, but I can teach you that. And the secret to success is what you don't know that you don't know is the secret. How many people understood what I just said? You understood that? You guys know more than I know. But what you don't know, that you don't know. I'm going to explain it to you. There's a gentleman called John Milton Fogg that wrote a book. And he had this in his book, and it just hit me so hard that he's right. And it fits right into the book I wrote, is how you balance things. The secret of what you don't know, that you don't know. Let's go back to that kid riding that bike again. I told you, he has the secret. When you were young and you were riding a bicycle, you basically went ahead and said, well, it's not what I know that's going to help me ride the bike, because I kept getting on that bike. I thought I knew, but I kept falling down. I kept getting scratches. I kept getting beat up, and my head hurts. So it wasn't what I knew, right? And it wasn't what I didn't know that I needed to learn in order to ride that bike. Because I could read all the books in the world and learn everything about riding a bike, but I'd still get on it and I'd still fall off. Until that one little experience happened. And all of a sudden, it's like kind of like God put his hand on the bike, and all of a sudden the wheels straightened out, and all of a sudden it just went, and it's riding. And those two wheels were turning. And I was just gliding. I learned something. I learned what balance was. Balance is what you don't know that you don't know. I didn't know about balance. It wasn't what I knew. It wasn't what I didn't know. Balance is something you had to experience. And in the book, The 5 Quests, you need to take that and learn each one at a time, just like you're riding a bike, to balance your life. If you do that, guess what? Life becomes very sweet, very simple, and you're going to do it the way you want to. I noticed that everybody that's read this book so far, it's impacted them in a different way. I'm learning from my own book. I'm learning that, hey, this works for people that have traditional mindsets. This works for people that have non-traditional mindsets. And I am not the motivator. I'm just the why guy. I like to take you and immerse you, just as Tony Robbins says. I want to immerse you into the methodologies, the psychology. You immerse yourself into it and just learn these simple things and apply them every day, one at a time. It's changing lives at this point. I love what I'm doing right now. You can tell, you can feel the passion I have for writing this book and affecting the lives the way that we're doing right now. I'm hearing comments from people of certain things. I mean, when you show somebody, just to give you an example, that walks into your office, and I use it in my day-to-day business. This is part of my accounting work. They walk into my business, say, I need to file bankruptcy. I hear that a lot. So let me look at what you have. So we look at what they have. You know what? Yeah, they're in trouble. But you know what the main problem is? They don't have a plan. No plan. How do you know where you're going if you don't have a plan? That is basically like saying, okay, I own a Volkswagen, and I want to go to the moon. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to the moon with my Volkswagen. No, you're not. Ain't going to work. You need NASA to go to the moon. You need an engineering team behind you to get to the moon. It's called a plan. But people in their daily lives, every day, are driving a Volkswagen and think they're going to get all the way to the moon. It isn't going to work. You have to prepare for change. And there's basically 6 steps. First of all, wake up. Pull your head out of the sand. Okay? We're not ostriches here. But people have a tendency not to want to face the day-to-day things they have to in order to get where they want to go. Second, stop worrying. It doesn't take a lot of money. It takes changing thoughts, changing thought processes in order to get where you're going to go. You have to change what you're doing in your head to change the intentions that change the actions that will change the results. You have to basically, okay, determine your why. If you don't know why you're doing it, then what are you doing it for? Because you're following the other 95% of the people. It says, I'm doing it. So, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it too. You're doing it, I'll do it. That's great. That's what they did in the mortgage business. Everybody did it. And look where it got us. And I could go on and on. Credit cards, mortgages. We can go all the way back right to the 1987 crash in the stock market. Basically, people do things because they follow the guidance of other people. And there's a right way and a wrong way, basically, to live your life and do these things. Set some goals. Gee, you got to set goals in your life. I don't care what the goals are. Just say, hey, in 2 years, I want to be here. 5 years, I want to be here. Okay? You know what? I learned something very valuable from a guy that wrote another book. We went to a seminar. His name was Keith Cameron Smith. He said that basically poor people think day to day. They plan day to day. Basically, you know, middle class or average people, they think week to week and plan week to week. The wealthier people start to think month per month. The rich think year to year. The mega rich think decade to decade. They plan their lives differently. It's just a change of thought process. And you grow through it. You start to plan and set goals differently. Last, seek counsel. I love people that, you know, they think that they can do it all themselves. Self-employed people. Seek counsel. Find somebody that's a role model that you really, really like, that is in basically the 5%ers group. Find somebody that you can model after. Find books that they write. Read them. These people are brilliant. Robert Kiyosaki, Business School for People Helping People. It's right. It's one of the books that we go ahead and promote. Another book, The 45-Second Presentation. A great book to learn if anybody's in relational marketing, direct sales, or network marketing. Okay, not really a traditional-minded book, but you know what? You might get something out of it. It helps me every day. That's where I got the Do You Like to Travel, Vacation, and Have Fun? It's a 45-second presentation question. If you don't like to travel, vacation, and have fun, just common sense. Think about it. Do you want to hang around with that person? No, I don't want to hang around with you. You don't like to travel, vacation, and have fun. Boy, my whole life, that's what I did when I was young. That's all I want to do. I want to travel, vacation, have fun. It's what life's all about. So what we did was we sent up, you have a company. I don't know what your company is. It could be anything. You have to find your team. And basically, what we have is a total support system that will help you guide your team in the thought process to think a little bit differently, to improve their life skills, and maybe some leadership along the way. That's all we really did, but it's going to change lives. Next. What is your plan? Very simply, if you want to go or arrive in San Francisco, don't get on an airplane to New York. Does that make sense? People do it every day. I can't believe it. I mean, it's crazy. I hear people out there constantly, they tell me what they're doing in business, and I try to be really nice, but I tell them in a very kind and gentle way that you're going to San Francisco, you're not going to New York. What you're doing with that business isn't working, and here's the reason why. And it's all a thought process. You know, it's okay if you want a little business and you want to maybe one day, just kind of have that small little thing on the side. That's good. That's called a hobby, okay? You got a great hobby. You don't have a business. Think like a businessman. So review your life, basically. Review your life, what you're doing. What do you want of your health, wealth, and success? Define it. Think and have at least a 2 to 5 year plan. And the bottom line is learn that balance of riding a bike, one quest at a time. Learn to balance the 5 quests. We're going to go ahead and show you another movie right now because the 5 quests are all right there. Health, wealth, success, tax, travel. Okay? Those are the 5 that if you balance in your life, I truly believe you're going to be happier. The first one is about health. We're going to play the movie.
One of the best things terrorists could do is just build more fast food restaurants, maybe add another pharmaceutical company, have a couple more infomercials, and encourage people to eat the way they eat now. And everybody's going to be dead in 100 years. They can just walk right in, don't have to do a thing.
Superstars lodged by Big Mac, Coca-Cola, go on, man. Big poison.
1/4 of what you eat keeps you alive, and 3/4 of what you eat keeps your doctor alive.
I used to get high for a living, eating all the bullshit food they sold me.
Cancer rates going up, heart disease going up, stroke going up.
We're poisoning ourselves with highly processed, nutrient-depleted foods.
One of the major problems is what we do to the soil and the air and the water and everything we take in, our food.
We, for whatever reason, decided we're going to spray everything with every kind of pesticide, herbicide, larvicide, fungicide. We decided we're going to genetically modify things we don't know anything about. Can we actually improve what has already been created? And the answer is maybe, but not the way we've been doing it.
If you want to know what's wrong, look down at the table. It's staring back at you.
Think of it as chronic malnutrition, because that's what's going on.
But if we think we're going to go to the doctor and get a pill for everything, we've missed the whole point. We have been taught our whole lives to be consumers of modern medicine, which is pharmaceutical medicine. Good health makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't make a lot of dollars.
Now, the drug industry has every right to make money, no question about that at all. The ethics, I think, need to be very closely watched.
What the pharmaceutical companies are doing may not necessarily be in the interest of our population.
You can be as sincere, and you can be sincerely wrong.
Approximately 106,000 Americans die from pharmaceutical drugs each year. And these are people who took the medication as directed.
There's a lot more turning to alternatives because what's being done beforehand doesn't work.
There is no magic bullet, but there is a lifestyle change that reverses serious chronic disease. It's cheap, it's simple, it's safe, it's effective.
The solutions are here. They've always been here. Every single person in the world, every culture, every language, every person in the world knows it. You are what you eat. Food does matter.
It's a choice. You don't have to be sick.
Is that strong? I mean, what else are you going to say? I mean, we put this stuff in our bodies. We eat the wrong things. Think of this now. It's common sense again. I did it for many years. You put all this junk into your body, then you get sick, then you go to a doctor, and you say, okay, give me some chemicals to make me feel better. More junk in your body. It's the wrong track. And basically what we found out over the last 2 years was health is very simple. If you eat the right things, and I'm not a doctor, there's a doctor here that can tell you this. If you eat the right things, what you put in your body will heal somewhere along the line, unless it's just to a point, you know, that it's too late. But my belief, and I found that my personal life through a form of liquid nutrition that I've been taking, actually multiple different types of liquid nutritions, and there are many of them out there, is that when you put this in your body, it's absorbed into your system. If it has the correct nutrients, vitamins, and whatever is right for you, your body is going to start feeling better. 2 years ago, I think I was a health wreck. My sugar levels were bouncing. I had to eat at least within every hour, 2 hours, or I could be standing up here talking to you and have to put the microphone down and run out that door and go get something to eat because my sugar levels would crash so low. And over a 2-year period, by feeding my body correctly, the right nutrients through liquid nutrition, eating properly, of course, changing the way I thought, the way my actions, that, changed the results. Thank God I can stand here today, and I don't have those rushes of sugar. My sugar levels are just nice and level now. I don't get, all hyper and crazy. And I thank liquid nutrition for doing that for me. And your health is number one. Remember I said, if you're not healthy, how many people out there do you know that would love, they have plenty of money and they have plenty of time, but they don't have their health? Isn't that sad? They worked all their life, and they can't enjoy the time and money at that point. And I know a lot of people like that. All I'm saying is do something for your health. Next, we talked a little bit about this before because we're going to go through each quest one at a time. How many of you in here would love to be debt-free in 8 years, 10 years, including mortgages? Well, I'm here to tell you there's a way to do it. It's in my book. Take a look at the real client that walked in my door that said, I'm going to be bankrupt. I'm bankrupt. I need your help. I looked at them. We went through a complete program of basically debt acceleration, and we are eliminating the debts one at a time. They had 2 mortgages, 2 homes. I think it was around a $70,000 line of credit, which was a HELOC, home equity line of credit. They had $20,000 or $30,000 worth of credit cards, and I calculated it would take them to pay off everything. It's in the book. It was like 60-some years to pay everything off based on interest rates and everything else. By the time we were done, it's in the book. You can read right through exactly what we did through the software system that we use here. And they're paying off their mortgages in 12.47 years, everything done, 100% debt-free. And then, what's not in the book, is we went back and we started to lower interest rates on credit cards and get new credit cards for her with 0 interest over 24 months or 18 months or 1 year. And we started knocking down more debt. Within about 10 years, they will be completely debt-free, not paying just $10 more a month, using the same money they were paying out. It's amazing. It's called a plan. They have a plan. If you have a plan, you're not scared anymore. It's a plan to get you, here we go again. I sound like a broken record up here, don't I? It's a plan to get you where you want to go tomorrow, okay? Because what you're doing today is going to change that. Let's go to the next one. This right here is the one that excites me the most out of everything that we do. This and tax. Because tax, a lot of people don't really understand how it works. We're pretty good at it. But it's not that complicated when you start doing things correctly. But success is not the key to happiness. Everybody's level of success is different, or happiness is different. What it takes to make me happy may not make you happy. What it takes to make another person happy may be 10 times what it takes me to make me happy. So happiness is really the key to success. And when you get your priorities in order, you're going to find out people that walk around, they're going, well, you know, how you doing today? Don't even ask. Okay, no problem. I think you better get your priorities right because you're not happy. What are you doing? So Success Quest is basically a lot of what you're hearing here tonight can be, we're going to do seminars and things like that all over the country. I do have some tremendous news tonight. A major publishing company has set a Friday, received a contract on my desk to publish this book on a nationwide scale. They're pumping money into it. They're going to do the marketing. They're going to have it at Barnes & Noble. They're going to have it at Books A Million. They're going to do a downloadable version. They're going to do an audible version. They're going to go ahead and market it. It's a Christian book company, which is really interesting, that took this book because, you know, basically it is a Christian philosophy of how to more or less be debt-free, how to live your life, be happy. It doesn't just take money to make you happy. If you're debt-free, you're going to be really happy. And have a business that you enjoy going to every day. There was someone in here tonight. I said, I never see you anymore. Okay? He goes, but I'm happy because I'm doing what I want to do every day. Yeah, I'm busy, but I'm doing what I want to do every day. Well, there you go. Okay? In his world, he's happy. That's what makes him happy. He loves what he does. Some people don't love what they do. Well, get out of it. Change it. Okay? That's what Success Quest is all about. And you can read all that stuff. You know, you got to learn how to manage time. You got financial strategies. You got to learn how to balance your health and wealth. Lifestyle coaching. Big, big today. Real big. If you want to find people to join your team, show them a way they can change their life. Nobody wants a part-time business opportunity to go to work after they work all day. But they will listen to you if you show them a way that they can go ahead and change their life. And this is a way we're going to do it. Unfortunately, it takes a vehicle that you have to do a little bit of work for. Okay? That's just how it works. I mean, this is not my full-time thing, going around talking about a book I wrote. It happened because my wife basically fell down on the driveway, hurt her leg, and I couldn't go ahead and do anything at night. And I said, okay, I'm going to write this book. And now all of a sudden I say, you know, this book's good. It's affecting lives. I'm going to come out now and teach people what they should be doing as far as my philosophy. You don't have to agree with me, but there's some stuff in here that might help you change your life. So find out what you're doing successfully and success in your life and see what you can do. Because Tax Quest is the real one. And I love this statement. This is the one that I've seen so many people almost ruin their lives. Because they go into business. When they go into business, they don't realize what they're doing. At the end of the year, they've made money. They didn't pay any estimated taxes in. They didn't file a corporation or some type of an entity that made sense that they could do business with. At the end of the year, they might have earned $70,000. But they didn't pay any taxes in because they're used to receiving a paycheck that they take taxes out. Now, all of a sudden, they come to me. And I go, what'd you do? Well, I started a business. I made a lot of money, especially in the mortgage brokerage business when it was hot, the real estate business when it was hot. People were making money they never made before. Here's the problem. They come with a 1099 in hand. Great. Are you an entity? Are you a professional association? No. Self-employed? Yeah. Okay. This is April. You made this money all year. Did you pay any, estimated taxes in? No. Okay, you made $70,000. Do you realize what's happening here? Okay. Do you have any books? No. Great. Do you have a bank account? Yeah. Okay, now I got to go into their bank account. I got to figure out what they did. I'm sure they have business expenses. I got to try to reduce the $70,000 based on legitimate business expenses. And then all of a sudden, they still made $50,000 that they didn't pay any money in. So now they're going to get penalized, right? All right. First of all, they have, just listen to this. It's ironic what the IRS does. They have a trap, and they're in the trap. 15.3% of the $50,000 that we brought it down to of income is taxable for self-employment tax. Because they didn't file it on time, there's also a penalty plus interest on the taxes they didn't pay in quarterly on their estimated quarterly payments. Also, if they filed it after April 15th, they're going to have another 25% penalty on top of it. By the time they're done with everything, including their effective tax rate, you see where we're going with this? Probably $30,000 to $35,000 of that $50,000 they made is gone. That's half their money that they earned and spent some on expenses. They made a big mistake. Okay, there is a legitimate legal amount that you can pay on taxes. The key is planning and finding the way to that point. That's what the rich do so well. They don't pay big taxes because they're structured properly. They don't pay big taxes because they have good people behind them to go ahead and to show them the ways to limit their tax liabilities legally. Not at the end of the year, well, we're not going to show that. Well, that's illegal. I can't do that. Well, it's the same as last year. Really? What's the same as last year? Nothing can be the same as last year. I mean, I have clients that come in, just file my taxes, same as last year. Not me, baby. Okay? I don't do that. And it happened to me this week. No, I can't do that. Okay? That's what happens. So we have, I mean, I have a complete financial array of services that we can offer to people that need help. It's not why I'm here. I want you to read the book. Okay? But if you need help, we're there. There is a nice system that I suggest everybody get. It's called J.K. Lasser's. Basically, it's the tax management system that they have, Taxes Made Easy. It just organizes a simple person into a simple system, and I don't care if you're a big business, little business, self-employed, whatever you are, this will help you to gather your information that you need on taxes. This one's here for a reason, and remember we talked about travel, vacationing, and having fun? Well, there's a way to do it. And there are so many companies out there you can do this with. You don't have to go ahead and sell any travel. You don't have to, get involved in becoming a travel agent, even though you should. We've been doing it for years. You basically get with a good travel company that will take you on board as what they call an associate travel agent. You get all the discounts at all the hotels. You get all the fam trips. You use, basically, they have an IATA number. You can go to Disney at the reduced rates. You can go to any theme parks. It's amazing. Now, why, you think about this. If we're going to teach you to balance your life, and we're teaching you not to create debt, and now you're traveling, and you're spending all this money on what they call tourist traps to begin with, then we haven't done our job, have we? Because you want to travel, vacation, have fun. Let's do it at 50 cents on the dollar. Why not do it at 50 cents instead of $1 on the dollar? It makes sense to me. So when you have all this income coming in, you balance your wealth, you balance your success, you balance out your health, guess what? Instead of spending, $5,000 a month to travel all over the world, spend $2,500. Spend 50 cents on the dollar. Unless you want to send me the balance, I'll be glad to take it, and I will put it in the Tony Sama Retirement Fund. That's fine with me, too. But I know that you'd want to spend 50 cents on the dollar. So that's why that's there. Playing the FiveQuests now. All right, this was written by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. I'm not going to go through every one of those, but you guys can just kind of read it. And to basically what he's saying here is to be rich, you have to think rich. You have to think like he wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read it. Great. He is one of my mentors, by the way. Remember I told you you have to have certain mentors that you look up to, that you know that have succeeded in life, that they have a philosophy or a mentality that is different than the rest. That's the guy for me. May not be the guy for you. Okay? Whoever your mentor is, God bless you, because that's your mentor. Just make sure he's in the 5% group. Okay? Don't follow the 95%ers. That's all I'm saying. Think marketing network. See, marketing network is not the same as network marketing. Let me explain the difference for those of you that are in network marketing. Marketing network can be used in any traditional form of business, no matter what you do. It's not go out and just find people. There's a big difference here. When you're network marketing, you're networking to people. They say, oh, people are our product, right? How many of you that have been in network marketing have heard that? That's what they want you to think. They want you to go out and find 3 to 5 of your friends knowing you're not going to be there anymore, and they do the same thing over and over again. It's not the way you build a business. Think of it more from the standpoint of traditionally, find 3 or 4 people, but find the ones that are going to market. 3 to 4, 5 people that market. I don't care what your business is. You could be a chiropractor. And you find people to market. Okay? Because those marketing people are part of that team that you're building. Those 3 to 4 people are going to find your team leaders of 500 people eventually because they're leaders. They're better than you, or at least at your level. And that's how you build a business. Not a network marketing company. Doesn't have to be that. Any type of business. Think marketing network. That's the difference. Number 1, okay? Take care of your health. Number 2, think wealth. Number 3, think success. Next, create the passive income. No, there is no next. I'm just pointing right now. Okay? Next, create. See, you guys know. I'm going to shut up pretty soon. How's that? You guys getting a little tired out there? Just think $10,000 a month to start. How can you create $10,000 per month of passive income? That's the key. You can get a job, go get $10,000 a month, maybe not here, but somewhere in the world. But if you had $10,000 a month coming in from passive income, that's equivalent to $2.4 million in the bank. And you have a choice. You can either go out and make the $2.4 million, put it in a bank, and earn $10,000 interest off 5% on that $2.4 million. You got $10,000 a month. Or you can go out and create some form of passive income through, it could be anything, a side business. I've seen hobbies create $10,000 a month. They're no longer hobbies. They become a taxable business venture at that point. Or you can just start to build a $10,000 a month income right now with whatever you're doing on the side. Don't quit your day job. You need the income today, but go create the $10,000 a month of your income tomorrow. When you reach that point, call me. You're ready for income for life and strategizing with taxes, investments, and so on and so forth. Or call your tax advisor, whoever you trust. Just make sure he's one of the 5%ers. This is really good. I'm going to almost end on this, is that I love people that come to me and say, well, my accountant helped me, and this is what he did. Great. When you interviewed your accountant, did you ask him if he ever handled a company, because your company is doing $5 million a year? Did you ever go ahead and ask your accountant if he ever built a $5 million a year company? No. Well, what gives him the right? Yeah, he's got book smarts, book knowledge, but how doesn't make sense? Would you let somebody take care of your money that never did that before? You get a company that comes in, they're doing $50 million a year. Did you interview your accountant? Has he ever built a company up that he has gone ahead and built a company that has basically earned $50 million a year in revenues? No. Well, that's shame on you. That's very poor interviewing skills. Now, they may have worked for a company, but think about what working for a company means. They don't care. It's not theirs. They don't care about the money. They just want their what? They're employee-minded. Entitlements, paycheck. Okay? When they come to me, I tell them, I've built a company. It's done $125 million a year. I started it out of my garage. That is how we did it. And somebody laughed in here. He was with me 20 years ago when we started it. Out of a garage. We had a dream. We built the company up. And we made a lot of money on that particular venture. It's in my book. It's a telecom company that we got involved in. And then they signed the 96 Telecom Act. Things do change. There's a lot of stuff in the book that what I told you tonight, you're really going to relate to from what I told you and how we approached it. I really suggest, and I suggest because it's my book and I have passion for it, but read the book. Study the book. Implement the 5 quests into your life. We're going to stand up. We're going to stretch right now. And I have a little treat for you. Pastor Ron McCaskill is going to come up here and maybe do about a 15, 20-minute, basically just a speech all about the 6th quest, which he's going to tell you about when he comes back up. Let's take a little bit of time, stretch, get up. If somebody wants to get something to drink. Do we have anybody in there to serve some drinks for, let's like in 5 minutes, come back, or you know, stretch, and we'll go ahead in 5 minutes. We'll be back in here. And thank you for coming, by the way. I'm excited about this, and I hope you guys are excited too.